Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is October 1st, 2025, and as always, we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just to kick things off before we get into the meat of things, if you haven't noticed already and you're not in the know, well, the GBO Autumn Festival is in full effect. Just to recap really quick, we got some things going on right now, such as the weekly free 10 pull, the special supply drop thing that they got going on, which basically we're able to get mobile suits and weapons in the lineup. On top of it, it'll be two 2-stars or above mobile suits plus 2 3-stars and above will be guaranteed. So definitely be jumping in on top of that. We just previously had the weekly step up for the Neo Gundam. That was the previous banner. So unfortunately, that one is no longer in effect. But we do have some limited missions regarding the Armored GM Barry Abbott. I'll keep on calling it the Barry Allen. It really could be the Flash. But we got some really cool stuff for that suit, including some camos, and I think we got a new Neo Zeon emblem, which I know we've been pestering them for some new stuff, and I think this is the only way that they're doing that type of things. But we're also getting some mechanic tickets and some unlocks for that as well. In addition to that, we also have a reinforced container recon team endorsement, upscale, uptick, whatever you want to call it. So the recon crate is now 50%, and it increased the dailies from the normal 2 to up to 5. So depending on your progression with the medals, you can be getting maximum of 5. If you're just now kicking off things, if you already got your platinum medal, I think it jumps up to 8 or 9, I think. Anyways, let's get into the meat of things. Because GBO Days is here, that means free pulls, special 4-day campaign every month, so some really cool stuff to kick off October, because the TR-6 Kehaar II has now arrived into GBO2. I think just like the Wound War, this is probably maybe a support, but it is a 3-star. We do have a boosted supply drop for that as well. So what that means is this is a 5-step. So half off for those of you guys that want some type of discount, and then every subsequent step after that is 2 stars and up, materials, and 3-star rarity, mobile suit guaranteed. Guaranteed on that, and then there's another discount. So this might be pretty cool if you got extra stuff laying around and you're a big fan of the Advance of Zeta stuff. We also have a shadow banner in the form of the Anavel Gato Rick Dom. Wow, and that's a 4-step. That's crazy sauce. That's crazy. On top of that, we also have a limited supply drop for the Prototype ZZ. I think this is a native 600, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, native 600. We're getting the 650 version. This is a raid. That's already crazy. That's crazy. On top of that, we also have changes to the recycle ticket counter, with the Gira Doga coming in as a option for your recycle tickets. Something to spend on. This is a solid 550 raid suit. Has a good amount of range options with a bit of melee mixed into that. On top of that, we'd also have the weapons for the Anavel Gato Rick Dom bazooka and the Heat Saber. So really cool stuff. You're going to be pulling for that. We do have some changes to the DP exchange counter with the form of the, I think, 600 cost Bull G being added, as well as the, I want to say 600 or 650 versions of the Gundam Unit 4 and Unit 5 BST being added. I can vouch for the Unit 5. It's still pretty solid as a beginner-friendly raid. If you build it correctly and have an understanding of its skills, it still slaps pretty well. BST 4... I'm not 100% on that one yet, but it's available. If you're at a low rating, I think you can get away with it pretty easily. They are doing some tweakings for the Blue Destiny themed space battle, with the Xeon side getting additional buffs for the high mobility Zaku and the Zaku mine layer. Okay, they don't specify what type of graded mobile suit specs they're adding, but yes, that's coming to it. And then just to recap really quick for the upcoming clan match schedule for the good old weapon tester GM2. This previous weekend was September 29th. Our next clan match is on the 11th, which is a evening match. It is simple battle 4v4 400 cost on the mass driver facility, and it's followed by on the 18th a shuffle target in the morning 5 a.m. Pacific, 600 cost on Ravine. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. All right, let's get into the thick of the matter as I totally misclick stuff. Kehaar II, this is a raid? What? 600 cost raid TR-6. Well, I guess that makes sense considering we have the Wound Wart as a support at 450 natively. It's no surprise that this is an upgraded version. Basically, the predecessor based on the prototype Ashimar TR-3, seized by the Titans, developed for use in space, later reconfigured version designed for gravity conditions, was equipped with a skirt unit carrying the integrated auxiliary thrusters, turning it into one word. Kehaar unit as renamed Kehaar II, hence the TR-6 designation. Armaments can include the boosted rifle, boosted heat blade, boosted claw, employed by the TR series. It additionally carries the spread beam cannon mounted on the Kehaar unit, enhancing not only its mobility, but its firepower can be deployed underground in space. So it's going to be interesting to see how this performs at 600, because we have such a big variety of different things at 600. They decide to throw in another donut, essentially. It's not a donut, but another transformable into 600. Kind of curious to see what type of skills this thing has. Not sure if I want to pull for this quite yet. I'm a fan of like the AOZ stuff, but this is not a must-have for me necessarily. If you are doing 10 pulls for this, this is going to be a reissue for the, I think it's Burn. He's from Zeta, and that's his normal suit from the Titans. Get a chance to get that, and it might mix very well if you got some blue themes going on. But without further ado, let's get into the stats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, future Aoshi here. I kind of pulled the gun a little bit because I totally forgot we had the Rick Dom for the Anavel Gato, and this is a 350 cost native general type. So level 1 through 4. It's going to be interesting. Yes, it's the Nightmare Solomon's Rick Dom, and he actually gets one of their taking pages from the Payzun, which is normally a 400 cost general as well. But I feel like the lower costs just seem like a lot more fun. But basically, yeah, this is a Dom developed by Zimad, nicknamed Nightmare Solomon. Changes from the Dom were the green ground heat kernel jet engines being exchanged for space use rocket engines, additional thrusters, dust proofing being exchanged for cooling systems, and redesigned securing space propellant tanks. Most of these changes were internal, thus it resembled a regular Dom. Considered for ace pilots, enhanced generator output, beam weaponry, and a unique color scheme. It's an income from its success in the Solomon Space Fortress evacuation, and it's also a ground and space unit too. So this is a special Rick Dom that is usable on ground and space. I think people were complaining that, well, I don't think anybody was complaining, sorry, I take that back, but the way it is right now, before this unit showed up, if you wanted to play a Dom, you had to play a Dom or a Rick Dom. It was all separated out, different specs, different stats, and, well, kind of a pain. So, well, here we are. We got basically 4 steps, all guaranteed, basically 120 tokens, 4 different pulls if you're trying to pull for this. So I might actually go for this. And without further ado, let's get into the stats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the Kehaar II. Unfortunately, I did not get the pull for this one, sadly. So we're gonna go under the stats that we do have access to. So being it's a raid, it does have a good amount of HP added to its pull. 23k is definitely nothing to scoff at, considering the ecosystem that is 600 right now. We do have a ballistic resistance of 18, which I would definitely say if anybody's building for it, you might want to address a little bit, or you could probably just leave it alone because a good majority of the suits are still running beams. We do have 28s on both beam resistance and melee resistance, so it's definitely going to be one of those suits that are going to be relying on its swift mobility. It's probably small frame too, considering how small the Wound Wart is already, to get in there and zoom around stuff. In terms of offensive power, we have 25 in range power, 35 in range strength. So considering the customs part slots base that we have there, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can make that work there. Going into the movement side of things, we have a cruising speed of 140, or walking speed rather, boosting speed of 215 with a generous thruster gauge of 80, excuse me, I don't know what I was thinking about 82, because it's turning at 72, so there is that. Going into the weapons of thing, its primary weapon is the same heat rifle blade that the Wound Wart has, except this one sits at 2600, 80% heat, effective range of 400 meters with a 3.5 second cooldown time between shots, 12 second overheat, and a 1.5 second focus time. Now this will stun, it'll suppress on point to shoot. It will also fire to suppress and penetrate on charge shots, it looks like. So very much like most of the TR units there, this is also keeping to that tradition. Going into the primary melee, we have a boosted heat blade coming in at 2600, 2-second swings with a 2.5 second charge time for heavy attacks. This one also, excuse me, it does not have any additional stuff, so okay. We also have its unique Vulcans coming in at base power of 80, 40 shots, 175 meter effective range, and a 8-second reload time, which is actually not too bad. I would imagine it's probably the same rate of fire as the regular Wound Wart, but there's no way to test it since I don't have it. We also have the Kehaar's spread beam cannons. So this is a base power of 400, but it's going to be a scatter beam or burst fire, I would assume. 4 shots, 2 barrels on each shoulder, 14% heat rate with an effective range of 275, half a second cooldown time between bursts or shots, I would assume, 12-second overheat with a 1-second focus time. Normal fire will not suppress, but fires beam in a barrage. Like I said, probably a alternating fire or burst fire mode. Focus fire shoots suppressive beams, so even if you don't necessarily hit with all the beams, I'm assuming just any one of them touching you just will stun you if you're not in maneuver armor or anything equivalent. As with the Wound Wart, we also have a particular unique version of the Claw. This one has its own, coming in at 3500 base power, 1 shot, 8-second reload time, and an effective range of 150 meters, which I think is a lot farther than your normal heat wire or crotch punch thing like the Zaku Stutzer. This basically, I'm assuming this is gonna be a hard stun. So this is gonna just wreck people because this is actually gonna be a melee suit. Well, it's a melee suit, so it's not surprising it's probably gonna be doing serious damage. Going to the shopping list of skills for this suit. Got some usual suspects there. We have Assault Booster 2, which reduces its charge and jump speed. Reduces jump charge and boosts jump speed. We also have Ambok 2, which is not surprising considering this is a space suit. Maneuver Armor 4, which is going to be crazy because we also are going to have problems stunning this. Force Injector 3. Surprisingly for a raid, this only has 2 swings. We have Heavy Attack 2, which basically ignores buffer and pierces its shields. Also, damage recoils lessens when hit mid-attack, and stagger due to cumulative damage is reduced. It has a double roll, like Control 3, Anti-Blast. Decent radar, has Transform, also has the Booster Eye Field, like the Hazelnut Day. I don't recall if the regular Wild Wart has this or not, but this is also the same skill as well, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to bump this full of thruster capability to kind of offset the beam attacks. Also has a chest buffer too, and it also has overboost. Jesus, I mean, I don't think this is gonna be OP, but it's definitely not gonna be easy to take this down. It might be, actually, depending on what type of suits you have to counter this, but If you don't, it definitely seems like you're not in it for a very fun time. Now, jumping down to the Rick Dom here. I did pull for it, but let's back out of this really quick into 350. I wanted to get the base one so you guys can check it out and see what kind of theme they got going on. It's really hard to tell because, well, Anavel Gato has a different personality when it comes to suits, and I'm not sure if they translated to this, but base HP of 16k, not very bad considering the cost range that the suit falls under. Very low ballistic resistance, which is really weird because usually the DOMs are pretty armored very well, but more than likely probably I think people are going to address that somehow. It's really weird, but anyways. 10s, yeah, we only got 10 there. We got a 19 for beam resistance and then melee resistance at 15. Now, of course, isn't a whole lot of range or a lot of power in either of these. We got a 15 for range and a 20 for melee. So kind of pretty conservative, I guess, in some cases. I've seen some other suits at that cost that have been heavily leaning towards one side or another. But I guess this is kind of we're beta testing this, right? I'm kidding. But yeah, it does feel like it's meant to be kind of balanced in some cases, but when I look at the ballistic, yeah, that's gonna be kind of weird. Movement side of things, we have a base movement speed of 140, and for a 1-year war suit, we are borderline 200. So this is pretty much, I think this is supposed to be in the same boat. Let me check this really quick. As the Dozel Zabi, even though this is 185, that sounds about right. We have a, I would say, decent thruster gauge for 1-year war suits sitting at 60, and a turning speed of 63, which is pretty generous considering a lot of the 1-year war suits are usually around, I want to say, 50s and below, around the 50s or so, 50s, 60s at most. So this is, I would say, more on the upper end, above average, I guess, of that curve. Now, going into the primary weapons, we have its unique beam bazooka, heat rate of 90%, like I believe the Peizun. But this one's unique because you also have the same effective range, 5-second cooldown time between shots, 20-second overheat, but this one has a 6-second charge attack, which offers long suppression and exploding beams. So, wow. This is a weird thing that I'm reading so far. I feel like it's a midline suit, but it's not a midline suit because it also has a leaning towards melee, because the heat saber comes in at 2k power, 2.5 seconds cooldown time between swings, and that's assuming we are keeping the usual DOM melee pattern. I don't know yet, but that's crazy already. We also have its spread beam, 100% overheat, effective 100 meters range, 18-second overheat time. You would think that they might do something special for the suit now, but they're still keeping the regular DOM thing on there. That's kind of 50-50 there. We also have a rapid fire version of the bazooka, so this is able to midline a little bit. Base power of 700, 30% heat rate, same effective range as the normal firing mode. 1.5 seconds between shots, or bursts, whatever this might be. It might be bursts, honestly. 18-second overheat. It does not suppress, but often offers a reasonable amount of continuous fire. So I'm assuming this is probably going to be, my guess would be 50%, or if both shots hit, it's going to break MA1. We'll see. On top of that, we do have a hand grenade, or heavy grenade, whatever you want to call it. I'll leave the H and G be up to your imagination, but it has its unique version. Two uses, base power 1600, 300 meters effective range, 15-second reload time with a 1.5 second cooldown time. After being thrown, grenade can be guided to reticle, powerful, and can stagger. So this is basically the Dom Tropin desert not Gilgu, but Zaku shenanigans. And I suck with this personally, but when you can actually make it count, this is, oh man, I'm kind of curious to see if it's going to travel fast or not, or if it's going to be the same speed. It's probably going to be the same speed. Going into the skill set here, the shopping list of skills, we got a roll, anti-blast, balancers definitely set up for space. This is still priority 2. Force ejector 1, melee combo controller, so 2 swings. Offensive system obviously has leg buffers just like the regular Dom. Would be kind of absurd if it didn't. You also have a thrust-based fire cooling system. When using ballistic weapons during high-speed movement, your unit recovers from both heat buildup and overheating faster. So I feel like it might be... Not sure how to read this really quick because of the weapons that we have here. So this is probably coinciding with the grenade or something, I would imagine. Maybe because it's relying on that in and out of boost, but the thing is, yeah, the only ballistic thing is gonna be, yeah, is the grenades on that. So like if we go into the, yeah, they're both beams, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And then we also have counter boost, so if you manage to get a counter on somebody unsuspecting trying to swing, your attack power, your defense, and your ability will temporarily increase during that counter, and less time is needed for ranged weapons to focus and melee weapons to charge. So this is weirdly designed to be an infighter. We have offensive system in there, but yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out. But it's 350, so I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But I guess we'll test it out, won't we? Here we go.
Ready to begin?
All right, here we go. It's been a while since I played the Payzun, so it's just like, oh, okay. That's actually pretty far. I thought you had to be a lot closer, but 100 meters is not bad. It's definitely, it feels like it's definitely a lot better than I think the flash grenade. I think the flash grenade still needs a little bit of help. So let's look at this really quick. So Grandpa should have, I think, 17s for 450.
The majority of combat happens in a mobile suit.
Yeah, that's a hard stun.
Be comfortable with the controls.
All right, so let's see. This is a burst fire. We're gonna check our friend, the Zoc here. Okay, so 66%. Ooh, that's terrible. Yeah, don't lead with that for breaking MA.
There are 3 mobile suit categories. Each has its own role in combat.
Okay, so you can fire almost 2 bursts if you can balance it without overheating it. Oh, so that's, see, what did that? Sorry, what did we say? That was 66%. So math really quick, that's about 120. So a little bit towards whatever MA2 might be.
Feature a well-rounded, durable design that makes them ideal for establishing and holding the battle line.
Oh my god, you can throw it?
Increase damage to enemy raid types.
You can throw this while boosting. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so we got the regular Dom. We got the regular Dom movement. Okay. For a 350 suit to move like this, I can see this being a problem to some people. Yeah, it looks like the usual Dom movement. To chop to the right. Yeah. Alright, let's see something really quick. Kind of curious to see how much it kicks up for a raid. So let's do this. Sorry, Mr. Zagok. Oh, it actually speeds up when you actually, okay. That's kind of cool. I just saw hella kick up. And we're running this, mindful guys, this is running, we're running full bare bones stock on this. Just kind of see, we'll kind of see what values we're getting just with bone stock stats here. And no extra help with the boosting. As far as thrusters go, we're not tweaking any of the walking speed at all. And then we're not tweaking any of the range power at all. So this is ooh, okay, so the downswing, the 2-hit compensation is actually pretty good. It's 22 and it still sits at 2k, excuse me. So yeah, this compensates pretty well against raid types, but I think it overall just is fine too. So let's get the grandpa really quick. See, I'm not used to the Dom and scooting around. Wow. So almost 3k on a downswing, and this thing already has a base of 2,000. But this is on stock grandpa though. So yeah, compensation is not that bad.
Yes,
all right, I think I've seen enough. All right, guys.
Assisting allies in creating openings is vital too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys found this informative as we briefly got to take a look at not our main event mobile suit, but one of the shadow side gigs that they decided to throw at us, the Anavel Gato Rick Dom. But I do believe, just to get back on topic, I do believe the Kehaar II is going to be pretty dangerous, considering that MA4 is going to be something of a great deal to contend with, especially if you got somebody that knows their transformable suits really well and can utilize the heavy attacks and the different ranged weapons that it can do. Plus, on top of the usage of it in transform mode, which I know I did kind of skip out on, but considering it's a 3-star at 600, it still has to contend with some other denizens as well. So I do believe that it can be a fun suit, but I think it's going to be weeding out the folks that are unaccustomed to zooming around. But it might be a zoomy suit for sure. Anyways, let me know what you guys think on the comments below, and I will see you guys all on the next one. Take care.